UFC Fight Night Vegas 73, Dern versus Hill just took place, and I'm going to go through the entire card, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main events, giving my reaction and breakdown to every single fight on the card, and my overall event recap as well. Let's start straight away with the early prelim opener of Takashi Sato versus Themba Gorimbo. A win for Themba Gorimbo by decision, which is how I predicted him to win. Actually, I think I could have said maybe he would get a TKO, but I think I maybe said decision. He got this one done by basically taking the back of Takashi Sato on the ground when he needed to. It's a real big problem in the game of Takashi Sato. He always gives up his back, and both guys had moments, but of course the control went to Themba Gorimbo, and he got a knockdown in the second round at the very start of the second round with an overhand right on the chin. Long range shot from Themba Gorimbo. He gets the job done over Takashi Sato, and at this point you have to cut Takashi Sato from the UFC. That's one too many losses. Good job by Themba Gorimbo getting his first win in the UFC though. We move on. Up the card, Natalia Silva versus Victoria Leonardo. This was a really, really good win for Natalia Silva. I know it's Victoria Leonardo, and she's not good. I completely understand. But to be doing this consistently in women's MMA is very, very impressive for Natalia Silva. That's 3 back-to-back in the UFC. She completely scored Jasmine Jasudavicius, who's really good. She's then beat up Teresa Blader, finished her in the third round with a spinning back kick to the head. And now she just absolutely tore through Victoria Leonardo and completely destroyed her in the first round. Badly hurt her against the cage at the start of the first. Finished her off eventually, but... badly hurt her against the cage to end the fight in the first round, but dropped her before that with like a jab left hook. It was like a Allberg shot that he hit on Nikolai Nagumarianu, if you remember that one, with the jab and then a left hook as you fade away. Very good knockdown from Natalia Silva, and she did not let Leonardo off the hook in that fight. Very good, impressive performance from her. We move on. Chase Hooper versus Nick Fiore. Nick Fiore needs to never train at New England Cartel ever again. I think that's what's come of this. I don't think Cater and Rob Font are going to be letting him through those doors of the gym again. Chase Hooper completely dominated him. Respect to Chase Hooper. He was given some problems on the ground to Nick Fiore, and one thing I love about Chase Hooper's ground game is that he never stops moving for a different position. He never accepts a position that's bad. He will always do the next most logical thing to get into a better position for himself, and he always does that. He's got really good scrambles, and that's what sort of got him into good positions on the ground. But on the feet, he just put the pressure on Nick Fiore and completely broke him. Nearly finished him at the end of the first round. Elbows on the inside, hooks on the inside, non-stop pressure, non-stop volume. Chase Hooper just really put it on Nick Fiore for the entire fight. 149 significant strikes to 51. Absolute domination. Great first round, great second round. Third round, a little bit more interesting, but still got the job done. Very good win from Chase Hooper. I didn't see that coming. I thought he was done. But he's bought himself another 6 months to get a little bit better at the sport before they put him in there again. So very good win from Chase Hooper. Nick Fiore is terrible. We move on. Up the card, Ilir Latifi versus Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira. Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira barely does enough to win this fight. In round 2, he lost round 2, but I think he won round 3 and 1. I know Bisping, I believe, said on the commentary that this was the best round for Ilir Latifi in round 3, which was absolutely ridiculous to say because he clearly won round 2 with the takedowns, although he didn't really do much with them. He did win the fight based on the takedowns, or win the second round based on the takedowns. But in the first and second round, Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira was landing the better shots, showing visible damage on the face of Ilir Latifi, landing the better shots in round 1, having moments where he would catch him with a clean uppercut or something as he came in. Every time Ilir Latifi came in, he caught him with a big shot. Latifi was chopping at the legs sometimes and had some moments going to the legs. But UFC judges don't seem to like leg kicks at heavyweight. They always value the punches. So in the third round, Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira, despite having a bit of a tough late round in the third, he got the job done. He rocked Ilir Latifi, I believe, on 2 occasions in the third round. Hurt him at the start of it, and then landed another big shot that seemed to get a reaction out of Ilir Latifi. So really good job from Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira. I can't talk today. We move on. Orion Cosce versus Gilbert Urbina. Cosce broke his rib in the first round. It wasn't going well for him anyway. On the feet, they were both landing decent shots. But eventually, Urbina actually went for a takedown on Cosce, however you pronounce his name, Orion. Urbina eventually went for a takedown on him, took him down, and after that, Cosce just didn't get back up whatsoever. Stayed on the ground, took a bunch of big shots. Looked like it maybe could have ended up being a finish if there was like 30 seconds longer in round 1, but he survived. Got into the second round holding his rib, and he's not even a big dude for welterweight, so I don't know how he missed weight. So maybe there was something that he was coming into camp with. Who knows? I don't remember a body shot landing from Urbina that would have broke that rib. Maybe it was a bit of a Anthony Pettis, Dustin Poirier situation where the body triangle might have hurt the rib as they were rolling around all over the place, maybe. But he hurt his rib, got injured, and then in round 2, it was like, when is Urbina going to go to the body? There he goes to the body. Big front kick to the body from Urbina, hurts Orion Cosce, and he finishes him in the second round. Very good job from Gilbert Urbina. We move on. Up the card, Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Vanessa Demopulous. Clean, dominant win for Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Night and day in the striking department. Vanessa Demopulous is not good. I said that coming in. I know that. She got gifted her last 2 decisions as far as I'm aware. Hasn't looked good in the UFC yet, and she fought an actual decent opponent in Karolina Kowalkiewicz, which ended up backfiring on her massively because she got absolutely schooled. Pretty much. Absolutely schooled start to finish. Picked apart in the first round 42-28, second round 55-22, and third round 42-18. It was the straight punches of Karolina Kowalkiewicz and like doubling up on the right hands and just landing the better shots all across the board. Vanessa Demopulous failing takedowns. Kowalkiewicz actually spending some time on top of Vanessa Demopulous in the third round of the fight. But yeah, she won every single round of the fight, landing the better shots, doing more damage, and just making Vanessa Demopulous look bad on the feet pretty much because she did not look good in the striking department of that fight whatsoever. We move on. Up the card to another fight, which was Viacheslav Borschev versus Maheshate. This was a great performance from Borschev. Absolutely amazing performance from Borschev. He gets the job done by second round KO. Really, really good win. Got a performance bonus for it. They gave a fight of the night bonus in the main event. What did Hill do to deserve a fight of the night bonus other than survive? She had nothing back for Dern. So I don't understand why they've done that. They should have given 4 performance bonuses. 1 to Dern, 1 to Borschev, 1 to Buckley, and 1 to whoever else got one. Diego Ferreira. Why did they give fight of the night bonus? It was more than average for a women's main event. And now fight of the night is given out. Angela Hill landed barely double digits per round. Pathetic. Either way, we move on. No, I'm not moving on. Borschev, Maheshate. Great win from Viacheslav Borschev. Really good win. 3 knockdowns in the fight for him. And he got eye-poked really badly as well. Really badly eye-poked. Blood actually came out of the eyelid. I don't know what was going on, but he was on one eye, basically, for the entire fight. Bisping simulator in the cage. And he still managed to get it done. He was vicious in the first round with his inside leg kick and outside leg kick. That was a big problem for Maheshate. Maheshate was landing some decent shots here and there, but Borschev was landing really nice kicks to the body with his lead leg kicks to the body, a couple liver shots, couple left hooks kept landing as well. At the end of the first round, he hurt Maheshate really badly hurt him with a massive knockdown at the end of the first with a left hook on the chin. Put him down badly. Went to follow up with some ground and pound, but just missed like pretty much all of it. And I'm not sure if he knocked him down again in the first or early in the second. Maybe it was early in the second, but he ended up not getting a knockdown there. I think it might have been a right elbow that he landed. Who knows? But Borschev lands a massive shot. Punch, they're saying, punch to the head. Lands a massive right hand on Maheshate. Hurts him badly, puts him down, and finishes him off afterwards as Maheshate covers up. Maheshate looked like he was doing all right, but Borshev's just too good on the feet. If you haven't got an ability to take him down, you're not going to win against Borschev at the lower level of the men's lightweight division. So, very good performance from Borschev. Worked the body, worked the legs, and eventually started working the head with one eye as well to score one of the better KOs of the night. But there were a few of them. We move on. Up the card to another fight, which was Carlos Diego Ferreira versus Michael Johnson. Talking of better KOs than the Borschev one. This one was an absolutely vicious knockout of the year contender. I know Adesanya Pereira is going to get it because of the status of the fight and how big the fight was for him to get that KO. But come on, man. What a knockout from Carlos Diego Ferreira. I thought Michael Johnson won the first round. I thought he was winning the second round as well. I thought he was doing all right. Like, he was landing good shots, going to the body with punches, landing the better shots on the feet in general. Stuffed 2 of the takedowns of Carlos Diego Ferreira. Diego Ferreira got no takedowns on Michael Johnson. And then eventually, out of nowhere in round 2, Johnson starts getting a bit smiley and switches off for a bit. Very similar to the Masvidal Usman situation. He gets a bit too smiley. I think he laughed at a head kick from Diego Ferreira glancing his gum shield and like the toe barely touching his teeth. And he went like that and went laughing at him. And then just a couple seconds later, Emmett style, Josh Emmett, Michael Johnson style, Michael Johnson's on the other end of another brutal knockout loss. Massive right hand over the top, overextended, but who cares? He landed it and adjusted to the distance that Johnson was trying to keep between them and landed a brutal shot on the chin. Slow motion, tilt backwards. Michael Johnson's out cold from the very first punch, and then a follow-up punch from Diego Ferreira afterwards, and he tried to be like Lyoto Machida, Mark Munoz at the end by trying to support the guy who had been knocked out, but the ref was like, get away from him, you nonce. But yeah, very good win from Diego Ferreira. Solid KO. Michael Johnson, such a sad reality. He was doing so good, man. I picked him as an underdog here as well, but that's what happens, man. I didn't expect Diego Ferreira to get a KO whatsoever, but that's a performance bonus right there. Very good KO win from Diego Ferreira. We move on. Up the card, Andre Fialho versus Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley gets it done. Really impressive win from Joaquin Buckley-ish. I say impressive. I was kind of critiquing him the whole fight long. He got the head kick KO, and he got a couple of takedowns, which Fialho got right back up from. But I'm going to be a bit more critical of this for Buckley. Very good KO. Got the head kick. Decent stoppage. The ref hesitated when to step in, so Buckley kind of stopped and then went, oh, you want me to keep going? Bang. Oh, no, stop. That was kind of on the ref. He was hesitating. So I see some people being angry at Buckley for throwing a follow-up punch, but it was literally the ref's fault, and he hesitated a bit too much. Really good head kick. But he does too much, man. Buckley does too much. And Fialho landed some good shots in rounds 1 and 2. And before the head kick, they were pretty even in round 2 as well. And Fialho was getting off some good shots. And it sucks for Fialho. He got KO'd again. He might be cut from the UFC. But Buckley does too much, man. Where's the jab? Where's the leg kick? Where's the jab to the body? Where's the simple stuff? Straight right hand down the pipe. Lead hook. Where is the simple stuff that Buckley needs to do? It worries me because, again, if you don't find the head kick KO in the second, it's worrying. You know what I mean? Like, it is. Like, he found it and good job, but he threw so many head kicks before that and big flying knees and charged in with a 3-punch combo with a duck under at the end and more shots over the top. It was like, we need something simple that's going to get us a win. I feel like he's aiming for a highlight reel KO a lot of the times rather than just letting it happen, but he got it this time. So very impressive performance from Joaquin Buckley. Very impressive finish is what I'll say, because early on I was like, damn, he's missing a whole bunch. 27% land ratio from Joaquin Buckley. And the shots that he landed weren't the best either. But he eventually found that head kick that he was looking for. As Fialho was going for a left hook, that right hand came a little bit too low and he got caught badly with the head kick. So really good highlight reel from Joaquin Buckley. But before it, I was like, damn, dude, you're looking for it too much. He was trying all this crazy stuff. And I was like, Fialho's just keeping it simple. You know what I mean? And it was like a stark comparison between the two of them. But Fialho didn't do enough to get respect. And eventually Buckley, one of his wild things landed. We move on up the card to another fight, which was Emily Ducote versus Lupita Godinez. Actually a decent scrap. The women's fights pretty much showed up on tonight's card. Most of the women's fights were pretty good. So I enjoyed them. It was a very good card in general. Very good win from Lupita Godinez. Outlanded Emily Ducote every round but round 2, I'd say. Landed 49-34 in the first, 40-35 in the third, and then lost a second round, or it was a very close swing round in the second, where both girls landed the same amount. And Lupi got the only takedown, but Ducote got right back up from it. Yeah, she just landed the better shots, caused more damage, bloodied up the nose of Emily Ducote, landed really vicious straight punches, and had good head movement and good composure in the fight as well, to be able to just keep her guard up the entire time and stay in the pocket and dip. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't lose focus at any point in the fight. Like, she just constantly pushed to getting it done. And at the end of the day, she landed the better punches and landed more of them in rounds 1 and 3. So Lupita Godinez gets the win. Very impressive performance. That's 2 wins for her back-to-back in the space of how long? 6 weeks? 5.5 weeks? Whatever it'll be. I think it's 6 weeks from the 8th of April until the 20th of May. Very good stuff for her. Very good win from her. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what she does next. She looks improved, and that's 2 wins back-to-back for her in a row. We move on to another fight on the card, which is Anthony Hernandez versus Edmund Shahbazyan. I picked Anthony Hernandez to win, I believe, by late rounds TKO is what I said. Or decision based on domination in the late rounds is definitely what I said, if I didn't say the TKO part. But Anthony Hernandez had a rough first round, arguably could go to Edmund Shahbazyan. He had a couple of submission attempts as well in that round with a guillotine that looked like it could have been in, and also an armbar off of his back that wasn't quite in, but he went for it and it was almost in at one point. And yeah, he stuffed the takedowns early on in the first round. Edmund Shahbazyan landed the better shots on the feet, got hit as well, but landed good elbows and knees to the body whenever he stuffed the takedown, and 1-1-2s down the pipe. But I'm telling you, dude, this is the middleweight Covington in Anthony Hernandez. He's got a good chin, he's pretty tough, and he can push a really good pace in the wrestling, and he transitions like a madman on the ground to constantly give you something to worry about. Maybe one too many submission attempts because he kept failing that arm in guillotine. An arm in guillotine is a really risky thing to go for if you don't have the arms for it and don't have the real strength for it. And Anthony Hernandez's build, I mean, he will say this himself, his nickname is Fluffy. Got a little bit of chub on him, so his squeeze is not the tightest, and he also sort of doesn't have that fast twitch, or, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he went for the submissions a bit too much. Maybe his arms weren't long enough to get the arm in guillotine latched up good, and Edmund Shahbazyan ended up finding an angle to get out of it and just surviving, and Shahbazyan was just surviving. Come the second round, all Shahbazyan was doing was working his way back up, and on the feet he seemed exhausted and constantly trying to scramble and get to a better position. But Anthony Hernandez keeps top position well and just rode out the positions and won the scrambles. Very good stuff from Anthony Hernandez. He gets the job done by third round TKO with elbows to the head. And this is someone who needs to get a jump up in the rankings 100%. Maybe against the winner of Paul Craig, Andre Muniz, which is coming up soon in July. So, really good win from Anthony Hernandez. Solid performance. Beats Edmund Shahbazyan. Sucks for Edmund. Worst matchup possible in the division for him. And they gave it to him. Terrible matchup. We move on. Up the card. Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill. I picked Mackenzie Dern to win. I said she would get a submission at some point in the first. I think I mentioned an armbar because she was close on armbars a few times. In fact, I think Hill kind of got saved by the bell at the end of round 1, because if Dern's in that position on you, like, 1, you're a lucky guy, but 2, your arm might be snapped soon. You know what I'm saying? So she was prying away at the armbar. Hill was able to hold on towards the end of round 1 and keep her arm from being snapped. So Mackenzie Dern didn't quite get the submission in the first. But she did knock down Angela Hill in the first round, which was crazy because her stand-up didn't look great, but Hill's stand-up didn't look great either. Hill looked off on the feet. Like, normally, I've seen her look good on the feet before, but she didn't have it in this fight, and Dern was landing clearly the more powerful shots out of the two of them, so she was winning a lot of the exchanges because of that. Round 2 can go to Angela Hill. I should have kept the stat page up because I want to check the stats. Round 2 could go to Angela Hill. Round 4 was actually a pretty competitive round, but I guess Mackenzie Dern can win. I believe Angela Hill nearly had like an arm triangle from on bottom. It was like a Maurice Green, Jan Vellante type choke, the Vellante choke, but you have to enter cardiac arrest like Jan Vellante to get subbed by that. So Dern just sort of like accepted it and was like, okay, the squeeze isn't tight enough, I'm going to be fine. But round 4 was close, 24-23 on significant strikes. And Hill had that sub attempt at the end. So it was a close round, competitive fight, swing round in round 4, clear round to Angela Hill in round 2, dominant round in round 1 from Mackenzie Dern, not quite enough for a 10-8. Dern hurt Hill with a knee in round 3 and outlanded her 30-1 on significant strikes, not to mention total strikes as well, which was 247-94 across the whole fight. So Dern did a lot in round 3. I thought it was a 10-8. It was like a women's 10-8 round. Obviously, the women's MMA fight, a little bit more lenient with the 10-8 rounds. She just beat her up on the ground over and over again. But I felt like if she just committed to one or the other in terms of a submission or ground and pound, she would have finished with either one of them. But she was like doing a bunch of ground and pound, and I'm like, oh my God, like Another 8 shots, 5 shots. The ref might be saying, you got to move, Angela, and actually thinking about a TKO. But then she'd like start going for an armbar. Or she'd like start committing to a sub and then just randomly give it up, ground and pound for a bit. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't committing to a submission or a TKO. So she got neither, but she did keep control, which was, I guess, a good thing for her in the end, because she ended up winning by decision, arguably a 10-8 in round 3, arguably a 10-8 in round 5 as well, and one judge did give her 2 10-8 rounds. I wonder what rounds he gave her that in. I think it was probably round 5 and 3, because she dominated round 5, ended up on top early, and stayed on top for the rest of it, trying submission attempts, not really getting them, but landing a bunch of ground and pound shots and elbows in top mount. Really good work from Mackenzie Dern. Genuinely an improved performance from her, because although Angela Hill is terrible and has a 15-13 record in the main event of a fight night for the UFC, the best organization in the world, crazy, I know, but she is quite good, and she beat Emily Ducote better than Lupita Godinez by far. She schooled Emily Ducote, you know what I mean? She beat Lupita Godinez, you know what I mean? And we just saw those two put on a good fight. She lost to Verna Jandaroba, Amanda Lemos, Tisha Torres. These are all good fighters. Had a close fight with Amanda Lemos. You know what I mean? Had a close fight with Michelle Waterson. Arguably was robbed. Arguably was robbed against Claudia Gadelha. Definitely was robbed against Claudia Gadelha. She's had good fights with top-level fighters. And Dern did dominate her, so that does deserve some credit. Not a fight of the night, though. Angela Hill won round 2 and made round 4 close, because she landed knees in the clinch against the cage and held Dern against the cage in those rounds. Hill did nothing to deserve that 50k bonus of a fight of the night. What I would have done is, you know why they gave her it though, because she feels both categories that they're looking to give bonuses for. But what I will say is, Dern should have got performance of the night. Ferreira got performance of the night. Should have got it. Yep, got it. Borschev got one. Should have got it. Buckley should have got one for a flush head kick KO. No? And then arguably they should have given one to either Hernandez or Natalia Silva. But oh well, I guess. Never mind. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle pip. I just feel like sometimes they chuck out 10 fight of the night bonuses when they're at UFC London. But then other cards, they're like, I don't know, let's give the bare minimum, even if the card delivers. It's crazy. Like, Pimlet gets a rear naked choke in round 2 at UFC London, gets a 50k performance bonus. But Buckley gets a head kick KO and you don't even get a bonus. It's weird, isn't it? But I feel like they just use the bonuses sometimes to like, they give out lenient bonuses sometimes to certain fighters to like, make sure their potential future stars are well paid, if you know what I'm saying. Like and subscribe. Toodle pip. See you later. Goodbye. Great night of fights. I think I went 9-3 on the card. I'm sure someone in the comments will track it. And another main event in a row. I'm positive on main events. We brought it back. I think I'm 8-1 in my last 9 on main events. Goodbye. Toodle pip. See you later. Decent card.